What is going on, everybody? There we go. What's going on, CH family? I hope you guys are all having an amazing day. My name is Hayward, and today we're going to be going over the secret to boosting your energy levels. So how do you get back your childhood energy levels once and for all? Okay, so I'm going to start today's training off with a little story for y'all. So first and foremost, this is what one of my clients actually says, and I like it a lot, so I'm going to use it for y'all. So I want you to imagine for me, there's two cars, okay? One car, and there's three components that comes into this. So one car, okay, it's full on oil, it's full on gas, and it's also clean. So the inside, everything's all cleaned out and it's all good. And then there's another car on the other side, and it's low in oil, it hasn't really been checked on. The gas is like maybe a quarter left or so, and it's just trashy. It hasn't been cleaned up. It's like the inside's all dirty and everything, right? And those cars drive down the road. What car is going to function better? Obviously, car A, right? Because it's clean, it's got full of gas, it's got its oil, so it's functioning properly. You don't expect anything bad to happen from it, right? And then of course, the other car is probably not going to function that well at all. It's the same thing with our bodies, okay? That oil, the extra pieces of it just being clean in general in the car, and the gas is our sleep. Okay, it's our nutrition, and it's also a few of the extra little components as well in it. Okay, so that's kind of how I want you to imagine this when it comes to your energy levels. So if you've been feeling low energy, it's probably in one of those three sections right there. So breaking that down then a little farther, if you want to go from this car that's low on oil, low on gas, and not clean inside, to getting that clean, supreme, fast, speedy car that has lightning energy, then all you gotta do is follow these steps that I'm just gonna break down for you, okay? So there's no magic secret pill to this, nothing whatsoever. I'm gonna lay out two of the main components that we're gonna focus on today, so your gas and your oil, and then we're gonna talk about the extra pieces just to make sure the inside, the engine, everything's clean, but when it comes to your body, okay? So first and foremost, we can say food or sleep, gas or oil, doesn't really matter, but starting out number one is the food section, okay? So food, what we feed ourselves is it's gonna be our energy, right? Calories, food, it's energy so we can function properly, okay? So breaking that down, a few of the ways that we can get more energy and feel much better from our food is, of course, starting out with our food choices. So just the food that you're consuming, okay? So number one thing that you can start doing for yourselves, and also guys, if you don't have time to watch this right now, it's gonna be recorded, so no stress about that. And if you have any questions as I go, comment down below and I can answer them, and I'll be able to see the comments. But the first and foremost thing here is a high protein meals, okay? So filling your meals up with protein, and then the next thing that you can do is cutting back the carbs a little bit throughout the day. So yes, it's proven that a higher carb diet will kind of make you, that sleep coma, right? It makes you a little more tired, a little more drowsy. So it's better to actually save the carbs for maybe later on in the day to add more in. Now, if we really look into the research, I believe the reason is because when you mix like carbs and protein together, protein releases some sort of chemical in you, and then carbs will release serotonin. Both those going together will cause you to feel drowsy or something along the lines there as well. So it's better just keep the high protein, clean fuel, and then you can have the carbs later on in the day, okay? So that's like if you really want to be as efficient as possible. But the next thing though is a bigger high protein breakfast. So having a bigger breakfast to start your day off. Now, this is gonna allow you to utilize your calories much better, but also just starting your day off with that high protein, good meal to start your day off. I mean, you're gonna be set. You're gonna have that full stomach, you're gonna be full, you're gonna have that food inside you to use throughout the day. So that's gonna help you function a lot better with your energy levels, and making sure it's specifically though that it's high protein coming in, okay? So the next thing is, because carbs are not the enemy whatsoever, and carbs are not the enemy when it comes to your energy levels either, but we want to make sure that the food we are eating is in our best interest. And one of the things with the carbs is making sure we cut out the refined carbs. Okay, so the carbs that you are consuming, you want to make sure it's good carbs that are actually coming in and not the ones that are going to cause that drowsy and crappy feeling in your stomach. So the first step to fixing that is just try your best to not buy processed foods, okay? Processed foods and also like refined carbs, so like your white bread, white flour, all of that. Cutting that out is going to help you tremendously with your energy levels, but also like your mental health and everything in between. It does a huge difference. Okay, so the next step here, after we get that down, is your eating times. So this can be a little more specific, but the eating times, the times that you're eating at per day, because if you go a long time and you crash and you go up, your blood sugar is all over the place. Ultimately, it's better just to get your timing down with your meals and stay consistent as possible. Our bodies function better when we're in a routine. We have a good pattern going, okay? It aligns with our circadian rhythm. So your eating times. Now, this kind of helps me transition into component number 2, because component number 2 is sleep, okay? And ultimately, if we eat too much before bed, we're not really gonna recover as we properly can as usual, okay? So that's why eating times also plays a role. But when we look into the sleep side of things, I got quite a bit of tips and tricks here for you to help with your energy levels, because ultimately, I mean, you can't expect yourself to function properly when you're not sleeping well, because again, that's your gas and your oil to your car, right? So without sleep, it's like you're a walking zombie. I think they did a study, and they literally came to the conclusion that people, when they're at their jobs and just like functioning, and people who like are functional on lack of sleep, okay, so who don't sleep much throughout the week or whatsoever, there's a certain point that it hits that you're like someone who's drunk. That's how good you're performing. You're performing as good as someone who is drunk performing. So it's like not good whatsoever with your performance. And I'm telling you guys, like some of my clients, when they come in, just by making these few little switches here and there, at the 2 and 3 week mark, they notice a extreme increase in their energy levels. So it's not like, it doesn't take a crazy long time to fix, and it's not a bunch of drastic changes you got to make. And it's just getting the small little details refined. So with the sleep though, moving forward, like another cool fact for you guys is like people who sleep less than 6 hours, like you won't survive long term. Like it's actually brutally bad for us if we don't get enough sleep, and it ruins our health, our mental health, our brains, our physical health, everything. It ruins. So the first steps that you can, or the steps that you can follow to get your sleep better, is first and foremost wind down time. So when I say wind down time, that means like taking the last hour or 2 before bed and really trying to just like get in that relaxed Zen mode, okay? So not doing any heavy thinking, not doing too much heavy work and stuff, so your mind's just running. It's just more so focused on relaxing and chilling out. One of the best tips that you can do to help with that is cut away the artificial lighting, okay? So the next step is cutting off artificial lighting. One of the biggest factors for sleep disruption is artificial lighting right there. So if we can cut that out and just focus on as much natural lighting as possible, that's your best bang for your buck, really. The next thing to add on to that is like our phone screens, you know? We always want to be on our phones. Well, it's actually best to just put the phone aside for the night, spend that time with your significant other or your family, whatever it may be. Cut the phones out, because having that close to your face on your phone, that's going to affect your sleep patterns, okay? Because what happens is when we are trying to get into our sleep mode, right? Our body releases chemicals, but by having this artificial lighting, it messes with our natural cycle. So therefore, we don't know when to wake up, when to go to bed, the whole 9 yards, right? And you know what's cool to add on to that is like they did this study where they took a person, they put them out into the natural world with no artificial lighting or nothing. They just woke up with the sun, went to sleep with the sun. I don't know how long it took, but eventually their whole sleep cycle and their circadian rhythm reset, okay? It resets to the natural world, the natural lighting, which is so freaking cool when we think about it. But artificial lighting is completely ruining our sleep cycles, so ultimately try to cut that as best as possible. I know, like, I myself, like, I'm not gonna, not watch TV or not watch a movie before bed. Like, I love laying down whenever I can, at least, and just trying to get in like 30 minutes or 20 minutes or so of watching maybe something on Netflix or a movie or whatever it may be. Like the show You, I am obsessed with that show, and I just binge watched that and got it done. But ultimately, like, I'm not going to give that up. But the best things that you can do to help avoid that is, like, you guys see me with these all the time, is blue lens glasses. Ultimately, what it does for you there is, I do it because I stare at a screen all day long and I don't want my eyes to get bad. So what happens is, like, the light goes in, and these blue lens glasses, I don't really know how it works exactly, but ultimately it takes like the bad lighting that's going to affect your eyes, and it kind of like stops it there, so it doesn't let the blue lighting get through and affect your eyes. So that's one thing you could do. The next thing, though, is stay at least 10 feet back from your TV, okay? So your screen, you want to stay at least 10 feet back. So get the measuring tape out and check if you're 10 feet back. I'm just kidding. But ultimately, you don't want to be so close to the screen, okay? Shauna, you're very, very welcome. Thank you. I appreciate that. So the next thing here is, let's see, I lost my place. So yeah, don't want to do any heavy work or thinking. I know myself personally, if I do that and then I go to bed, like, my mind's like literally running all night long. The next thing, actually, I'm going to talk about that one here soon, caffeine consumption. I'll talk about that in our extra little tips for y'all. Okay, this is a really, really, really good one, okay? When it comes to your bedroom, you want to make sure your bedroom is only used for, like, specific bed things, okay? So, of course, like pleasure or, like, sleep. Okay, so specifically sleep. And the reason being is because, a lot of people, what they do is will tend to lay in their beds awake on their phones, or just laying down in the beds and doing nothing, or wherever it may be. But ultimately that affects you, because you're going to be conditioned to, okay, laying in bed, my automatic body response is getting ready for sleep, because that's what I do, right? If you just use it for sleep, as soon as you lay in bed, your body is going to think about starting to get into sleep mode. But if you're laying on your phone all day, and you lay in bed all day and you do nothing on it, or whatever it may be, and you're not using your bed for sleep, well, then your body's not going to naturally adjust to anything when you get into that bed. Okay, so that's another huge tip that can help you out there. So the next thing, though, moving on from that, let's see here. So for the ladies watching this, you're going to want to sleep around 9 hours a night. Okay, so I believe it's like guys can get away with like 7 or 8 hours and stuff. And I think everyone in general can probably get away with at least 7 hours sleep. But for your best, like your maximum performance, maximum energy levels, get 9 hours of sleep or so if you can. And that's going to help you tremendously. Like, I promise you, like, you got to make that a priority. And people say, like, I get such a busy life, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, guys, we spend like, you maybe spend 30 minutes on the toilet, like 2 hours on your phone and stuff. So it's like, just be better with your scheduling. And I promise you, you will find the time to get your sleep in, okay? Getting more sleep in will change your life. Now, the next thing here is don't gulp down too much water. You don't want to try to, you want to try to not wake up as much as possible throughout the night. So don't be gulping down a ton of water, because the more and quicker you drink the water before bed, the more likely you're going to pee during the night. So you want to try to sleep through the whole night. So just try to not drink as much water before bed. Now, the next thing is you want to try to get into a sleep schedule, okay? So a lot of people have an alarm to wake up, but they don't have an alarm to go to bed. Now, it's actually best to have both, if anything, because you want to try to stick into the same routine as much as possible with like how your body functions and everything. And I promise you, like, by doing that, you are 20 times more effective when it comes to anything you do in your life. So sleep schedule, and something that can help you get into that proper sleep schedule at first is melatonin. Okay, so if you need melatonin, try melatonin out as well, and that can definitely help you tremendously. Now, the extras, okay? So now we've got the gas and the oil, okay? So we gotta go to the extras now. Okay, So most important things are done, gas and oil. Now what we need to do with the car, we gotta clean the insides, okay? We gotta make sure there's not much dirt around there and it's just clean and functioning properly, okay? Proper wiring and all that. So the next one, okay? This is my actual car right now is missing on this one and it's not functioning as well. But the extra for ourselves, so as people to get more energy in, number one, an obvious one, exercise, okay? And a lot of people say, I don't have enough energy to exercise. And it's like, no, that's completely wrong. The reason why you don't have enough energy is because you don't exercise, okay? One thing I want you all to understand is that our bodies are a reflection of our lifestyles, okay? So we have to take 100% accountability for who we are and where we are in our lives, okay? So we can't be victims. So ultimately, understanding that, like, okay, look at your lifestyle and look at the body you have. You'll see a similarity. Like if you don't work out, if you sit down a lot and stuff, like oftentimes that's going to play a huge role when it comes to how your body's going to look. But let's say, another example, if you're a marathon runner, right, and you do marathons all the time, let's say the nutrition part doesn't matter, right? If you're a marathon runner, you do marathons all the time, you're gonna have more slim, lean muscles, right? And it's built for endurance, long-term, stamina. If you're going to the gym, you're powerlifting though, right? You're lifting for like power, you're gonna have very dense muscles, okay? Your muscles are gonna be designed around how you pretty much design them. So if you're lifting for that power, then it's gonna be very dense and strong. Okay, so exercise is definitely gonna play a huge role. The next thing, of course, obvious one is losing weight. So losing weight, losing body fat is gonna help you tremendously with your energy levels. Like dramatic change comes from that. Now, the next thing for an extra is caffeine. Okay, so we can use caffeine as a advantage here. How do we do that? Well, first of all, if you're gonna have caffeine, make sure you have it 1 hour after waking up, okay? And then the next thing is don't have it after 3 p.m., okay? So your caffeine consumption, you don't wanna have it after 3 p.m. And if you can do those two little hacks, that'll help you eat less food. It'll also help spark your energy levels and keep you going so you don't have that midday crash, okay? So, second last one is just obviously walking and moving your body. Go for a walk, move your body. Your body loves when you move. It feels so good mentally and physically. We feel so good when we move our body. So move your body some. Go for that walk if you're feeling tired or exercise. There's this person who made a quote and they're like, they mentioned like there's two ways that you can boost your energy during the midday or whatever. And it's like, one is like you can take a nap, right? And the next one is you can go work out. And they're like, but only one of them is gonna get you jacked and ripped. So what one do you wanna pick? I love that one because it's like, you wanna nap or do you wanna go exercise? Both are gonna help with your energy. But yeah, you can also nap as well. That's another one I never even thought about, but you don't want to nap over 20 minutes because if you do it over 20 minutes, it's actually going to like make you even worse. So if you are going to nap, make sure you're only like sleeping and napping for about 20 minutes and that'll help like with a reset for you. Okay. And the last one is another kind of obvious one, but just cutting back on liquor and smoking. Okay. That can help too. So those are the extra components that goes into our vehicles to help us function better. Okay, so that is today's training. So we just covered quite a bit of pieces here. So I mean, you might want to go back and take some notes and write these down and then kind of do a reflection. Like look at if you're strong with your energy levels right now, kind of look at your lifestyle, look at where you're at, look at the food you're eating, if you're exercising, and then you can come up with the answer. Okay, you can be like, okay, so why do I have really crappy energy? Okay, well, it's because maybe I gotta lose some weight, maybe I gotta sleep more than 6 hours or 7 hours a night, maybe I gotta cut out those refined carbs, or I gotta eat more food during the day, whatever it may be. Go through that, do a little reflection, and see how that can help you. But these are the tips that you're looking for when it comes to boosting your energy levels once and for all. Okay, so if you want to get a tremendous amount of energy in your life where you just feel like you're ready to go nonstop as soon as you wake up and you're good until bedtime, then you're gonna wanna do this, because I promise you can change your life. Because imagine the difference it would feel going from like barely being able to keep up with your kids going hiking or your friends going hiking, and it's sucking because it's like you can't keep up with them, or being able to be like right up there with them, like hanging out with them, going for a hike, ready to go wherever you want. You can really enjoy yourself so much more. So this is like a huge priority, at least it should be. So there's the training for y'all today. I hope it helps you tremendously. As always, if you watch the video training this far, leave a smiley face down below. I want to see who's paying attention. And again, too, if you need some help, if you need extra support on your fit journey to losing this weight, well, I mean, we can start, if you need some help, we can do it now. And if you decide to take action now, I mean, you'll be set for the summer as well. So if you want to look good, if you want to feel great for the summer, I mean, message me CH and I might be able to help you out and might be able to help you get there. So if you need that help, the support's always there. But on that, if you guys have any more trainings or topics, comment down below as well. And you all have an amazing day, and I'll see you next time. Good luck with boosting your energy levels.